Well, hello, explorers. I hope you are well. I hope you're having a good time. I hope you're having a good weekend when you potentially see this recording. I'm really looking forward to, hopefully in a couple of weeks' time, actually meeting up in person. And it'd be great then for us all to enjoy each other's company and to have time together and to enjoy God's Word together. Really look forward to that. Really look forward to seeing you. Can't wait for that to happen. Now, this week we are looking at some more of the Ten Commandments. I don't know if you can remember what the Ten Commandments were, what you have learnt. I'm going to let you think for a bit. What were the Ten Commandments? They were rules from who? Who had sent them? God, absolutely. If you said God, you did really well. Yes, God gave the Ten Commandments to the Israelites, and it was rules by which they were to live. It was rules that God had created to keep them safe and to keep them special and to help them to be in the family and friends with God. So that's what the Ten Commandments were there. And this week we're looking at a command, and I'm going to tell you now, it's do not steal. Now you think, oh, that's a bit harsh. Do not steal. Wonder what the Bible has to teach us about that. Well, it's a very good question. We're going to be looking at a story in the Old Testament, and it's a story of Joshua and the Israelites, and it's a story when they were all in the promised land, so that special land that God had promised the Israelites that he would give them. They were there, and they were busy taking over parts of the promised land a bit at a time. And in this part of the story, they got to the town of Jericho. Now, I wonder if you can remember the story of Jericho. What did God tell the Israelites they had to do? It had something to do with walking, and they had to walk around the city once a day for 7 days, it says. So each day, all the Israelites, and there were lots of them, they would walk around the city of Jericho, and the Jericho had big high walls, massive walls that the Israelites thought we'd never get into. But God told them to trust him and that they were to walk around. So this is what they did. They walked around, and on the seventh day, what happens? Can you remember? Do you remember this story? What happens on the seventh day? Something amazing. So amazing. The walls of Jericho collapsed. These huge, big, powerful, strong walls collapsed flat, and the Israelites were allowed to go in and attack Jericho and take over it, which is what God wanted them to do. But God had one thing he said to them, must not do when you capture Jericho. What must you not do? You are not to take anything from the city. Nothing. Not one little piece. He said everything in there, everything in Jericho belongs to me, to God. Alright, and here we have our first picture, and there you can see the walls of Jericho on this side, and they've all collapsed, and you can see the Israelite soldiers are running in there and they're cheering, and then there's all this gold and silver there, and they're told not to take anything, nothing at all. I wonder if you think that the Israelites listened to God. Well, that's a very good thing to think about. Did they listen to God? Did they trust him? Well, we find out further in the story as they moved into more of the promised land. Joshua and the people were busy celebrating about how they defeated Jericho, and there was a little town not too far away called Ai, and the people of Israel went, you know what? We've done really well against Jericho. Look at what we've done. Look at how we've destroyed it and captured it. It's easy for us to go and take over Ai. We don't really need to ask God for help. and they sent soldiers to capture it, and it was a disaster. It was terrible. It was so bad that you can see they got chased away, and it was so bad for them that some of the Israelite soldiers were killed, and they just couldn't understand it. And Joshua, being the ruler, knew something was wrong, and he went to God and he said, "What has happened? What has gone wrong?" And God said to him, "Someone, even though I told you not to, someone has stolen some of the things that belong to me from the city of Jericho. And I told them not to, but they have stolen from me." And Joshua was, "Wow, that's terrible. Who was it?" Because we don't know. And he asked all the people. He said, "Who has stolen from Jericho? Who's taken stuff that belongs to God?" And no one admitted it. Everyone was quiet. No one said they'd done anything. And so in the end, Joshua got all the families, all the people to line up. And he started to call out the families to ask them again, "Did you steal anything from Jericho? Did you take anything?" And one by one, God said, "It wasn't that family. It wasn't that family." I wonder if do you think God really knew who'd taken it? Do you think God can see who stole it? Yes, you're right, because eventually it was a man called Achan, and he'd taken some gold and some rubies and some a cloth, and he'd wrapped it all up. And you know what? He knew it was wrong. And why did he know? Because he'd hidden all of it under his tent. God knew that he had taken what he shouldn't have, and God knew where it was. And Joshua sent some soldiers, and they went and they dug up and they found the stolen stuff, and they brought it back. And God was very angry, because he said, "You weren't to steal, you weren't to take anything," because it was very important that the Israelites listened to God. He had looked after them, he'd taken care of them, but they didn't trust him. They didn't believe what he'd said, and therefore they still wanted to do their own things their own way, which is a bit like us, unfortunately. All these years later, you and me and lots of people, we still think we can go our own way. And sometimes when we see things and we know it's wrong, we think, "I'd really like that. Maybe if I take it, no one will know. No one will see if I steal it." Which may be right. Maybe no one sees you, and maybe no one catches you. But I wonder, do you think someone will actually know? Who will know? Who do you think will know what has happened? If you said it was God, you would be right, because he can see everything, can't you? He hears and sees everything that's going on. And because he loves you and he cares for you, he especially looks out for you. And when you steal, he's really unhappy, because that means you're saying to him, "God, what you've given me, I'm not happy with. I want more." And so that's why do not steal, is so important. Alright? It's really important that we remember this, and we remember that, this is a command from God. And next time when you're playing with your toys, or you're in the house, or you're eating something, maybe you should say to God, "Thank you very much for what you've given me. I really appreciate it, and I want to thank you for it." Because God really cares about us, and he loves us. And you know what? We do lots of wrong things, alright? But we know when we're his special friend, when Jesus is our special friend, we can always go to him and say sorry. And that's a great thing to have. A great thing that our God loves us so much. So I want you to remember, as the week goes by, as we look through this, remember the commandment that God gave us to not steal. That's a command that is good and will look after us and keep us safe, and also keep us friends with God. Alright? Now I hope you have a great rest of the week. Lou has done some fantastic craft, and she's going to come up now and show you what the crafts are. Hope you really enjoy it. It's fantastic seeing all your other crafts that you've done. And yeah, hope you're having a great time, and I really look forward to being with you later.
Hi, good morning or good afternoon, depending on when you're watching this video. Hi Levi, hi Ilya, hi Lila, hi Noah, hi Ada, and hi Rory. I'm glad you can all join us. So I really hope you've enjoyed listening to the story that Simon was telling us earlier about the man who stole from God. Now, God isn't happy when we steal things or when we do bad things, but you know what? He's happy when we do good things, and he's really happy when we're happy with what we have. So today on the activity sheet, you can do that first if you like, or you can go straight to the craft. Just to say, in the packs for Ilya and Levi and for Noah and Lila, there are two different activity sheets. One is for the older children, and in Ilya's pack, I've written Ilya, and I've written Levi. So you know which one is which, and the same is for Noah and Lila's pack. There's one that says Noah and one that says Lila, so you know which sheet is yours. So as I said, you can do that now, or you can go straight to the craft. Da, da, da. So today's craft, in the pack, you're going to find, first of all, a paper plate, one each. You're going to find some green card. A much bigger piece you'll have. This is just what I've got at home at the moment. Also, you're going to find some red card. Again, you much bigger pieces than that. And you're also going to find a plastic pot, one each. You can use two for tracing circles. So you're going to use that, and then you're going to draw around it. So parents, don't worry, this is a recycled pot, and it can be recycled once you've finished with it. So there we are, eco-friendly. So what you're going to do first of all, also you're going to need scissors, glue, colouring in pencils, whatever you like to draw with and colour in with. So the little ones probably going to maybe need a little bit of help with the colouring in, but you're probably definitely going to need some help with the scissors. But your parents or grown-ups will know what to do about that. So first of all, what you're going to do is you're going to take the pot and you're going to draw circles on the green and the red paper, as many circles as you like, probably about 3 or 4. That's as many as you need of each color. And then when you've done that, you're going to take your plate and you're going to stick the red circles on the one side. As you can see, I've drawn some unhappy faces and angry faces. And I've also written here, stealing is breaking God's law. And then you're going to take the green circles and put them on the back. And as you can see, they've got lots of happy faces there. And this says, be happy with what God... No, sorry, this says, be happy with what you have. Be happy with what you have. Now for the little ones, in your pack you're going to find, I've actually really written out there, stealing is breaking God's law, and be happy with what you have. So you can trace those, colour in, you can do anything you like there really. The big ones, I'm sure you can write that all out by yourselves. So again, we got stealing is breaking God's law with unhappy faces, because God doesn't like us when we steal and when we do bad things. But you know what? He's really happy, and we'll be happy as well if we are happy with what we've got. All right, I really hope you've enjoyed doing this craft. Look forward to see some photographs of your craft when you've done it. All right, lots of love, and I'll see you next week. Bye.
Well, hello explorers. We're going to finish off this week by singing Our God is a Great Big God. And I want to hear those whoop whoops in between. Let's go.